Hi Gemini, welcome to July 2017 Astro Update. It's Raina here, and in July, the energy is concentrated in your second and third houses. Now, the second house for you is Cancer, and the second house is the house of earned income. So, to have this featured can mean that your finances are going to be really good during this month, and then to have the third house featured, this is your natural house. This is the house of communication. So those two houses could even be tied where you're doing something to make money that is related to communication. Some examples would be starting a YouTube channel, having a blog, doing a vlog, writing a book, right? Going and becoming a teacher. Training for that, public speaking, these kinds of things are all third house activities. Also stuff with your siblings, maybe, it's always possible going into business with your siblings. But whatever's happening, to have all of this energy in the house that you rule, and some of it is like serendipitous, like I would say the transiting North Node, as well as the fact there's going to be 2 new moons in this sector, in the third house that you rule, is something to pay attention to, actually, because the North Node is the soul's mission, and in the transit, it's kind of like going to affect all of us in our own way. For Gemini people in general, this will be dealing with your third house and your aspirations. So for those people who have always wanted to write a book and always put it in the back burner, I'm talking about, Geminis, obviously. By the way, this can be the sun in Gemini or the rising sign. You may decide to go for it and write that novel, write that nonfiction book or ebook, whatever you want to call it. You may decide to start a blog that you've had this idea kicking in your head about. So that could be a life-changing event. With the North Node, it's the direction you're supposed to be going in, and it's pointing you in a certain area to do certain things. And having 2 new moons, that's unusual. There's usually only one, and it's just like the full moon. It's called a blue moon when there's 2 full moons in 1 month, but this doesn't happen very often. So I have to take notice of that. So let me talk about this kind of in a linear fashion, as much as I can do that. Venus goes into your sign on the 4th of July, which of course is an American holiday of independence. So this means that until the 4th, it has been in your 12th house, which is the natural house of Pisces. It's very hidden and very indistinct. It deals with the collective unconscious, to quote Carl Jung. And basically, this is all of us as, there was that rock band called Collective Soul. You could look at it that way too, I guess. But just the consciousness of those of us all together. And it deals with past lives. It deals with, they say self-undoing, which can be anything that is destructive to a person. But it also deals with clandestine activities, because it's secret, right? It's behind the scenes. So Venus in that house can mean some hubba-hubba from something that is, somebody on the down low. But it's funny too, because it can also be soulmate stuff, because karmic, past lives, twin flames, soulmates. So however that would have come about with you, you may be dealing with somebody that is kind of a karmic relationship. And then Venus goes into your first house and in your sign, and all of a sudden, Gemini people are very attractive to other people. I'm not talking about just about looks. It's that I don't speak French. I don't want to embarrass myself. Je ne sais quoi. I don't know if that's right. That special something. I don't know if that's how it translates. But you can't put your finger on it. Let's put it that way. Thing that makes somebody attractive, and it attracts to you good things. So it could be that if you're trying to get a job, you come across really well to a potential employer, or if you're looking for love, you come across as attractive to potential partners. The first house is the house of the self and the image. So that's where I'm going with that. And then on the 31st of the month, Venus goes into Cancer, your second house. So there's one of those hits to your second house. Venus rules this house. So when Venus is in the second house, it can bring money. Venus can bring money to whatever house that it transits. And that's the first hit to that money house. And actually, Mars has transited through here in recent weeks. So Mars is out, but Venus comes in on the 31st. Mercury, it starts the month in that second house. So you're going to have your mind on your money and possibly thinking of new ways of earning money, because that's what the second house is. It's supposed to be money that you earn by the sweat of your brow. So, ideas, income streams, just attention placed and maybe just thinking about, okay, what is going on with my finances? But then on the 5th, Mercury goes into its own house, the third house. Your ruler is Mercury. So Mercury feels very comfortable in the third house. And this may connect to this Mercury in the second house. Maybe you are thinking about writing projects that can bring you money, and maybe you're going to start implementing them. Mercury could be you communicating and making money doing so. On the 9th of the month, we have a full moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is your 8th house of other people's money, the opposite sign of Cancer, the opposite house. So full moon in Capricorn for people who are in a committed partnership. Your partner may get a raise. Your partner may lose their income. It doesn't mean that they're going to be destitute. It means that maybe something has run its course, or they're retiring, or, any million things that would make that happen. But I feel like more times than not, the full moon can be kind of a crescendo, a culmination of what has come before. And it's kind of like the big payout. So, for instance, if you've had any kind of inheritance issues, this could be the time when you get that check sent in the mail. Maybe they've gone through probate and, the check's in the mail. Mars goes into Leo on the 20th of the month. So again, until that time, you have Mars in the second house of earned income. So that's where Mars was. I was telling you that Mars was, it had already left the first house, but it's in the second house until the 20th. So Mars in the second house is like you totally stoked for making money, and physically you've got what it takes. You have the stamina to do it, but you have the burning ambition to do it. So you may have come up with this idea, and you're really totally pumped for putting it into motion, and this is going to be that time. Now, you may have to do some overtime or some kind of concentrated effort, but even if that's the case, you're willing to do it because you believe that this is going to pay off for you. So that's really great. And then Mars goes into the third house, and that could be you doing something very vigorous when it comes to speaking, learning, or Mars can be brothers and sisters or other extended family members besides parents. So sometimes it can be some kind of conflict with them. Again, this may have to do with that inheritance issue for some people, where there is some back and forth and disharmony. But that's not going to be the case for everyone. It's just going to be for those. I'm trying to connect the dots here, and that would be for people that have some other issue that's in play. But for some of you, it can simply mean that you are more active in your community for whatever reason. Maybe there's some kind of a project that you're involved with. So then we get to that new moon, and that, as I say, that is in your third house in Leo. It's at 0 degrees. So it's the unknown quantity, when you have 0 degrees. So you are doing something and you're at the beginning stage and you don't know what's going to happen, but anything can happen. And that's exciting when anything can happen. You're going to have your second new moon in the same house at, I believe it's 27 or 28 degrees of Leo. And this will happen on August 21st. And this will actually be a solar eclipse. So this is a very powerful new moon. And typically the new moon is only in play until the next full moon. So that's like a 2-week cycle. Or, you could extend it to the next new moon. So that would be a month. But according to the people in the know, the solar eclipses can actually be in play for months afterwards, or even the lunar eclipses. Speaking of, I don't want to get ahead of myself in August, but there is going to be a lunar eclipse in Aquarius, your fellow air sign, on August 7th. And that could be in play for months ahead of time as well. I had an incident with this lunar eclipse in February that was in Leo. And there are endings. There are things that are that leave your life. And for me, I didn't see that until months later. So it might not happen on this particular date, this new moon. But it is in the works, and especially with that second one. This new moon, though, is going to be for this time period of the next couple of weeks, or if you want to extend it to the month. But I'm talking about in general because of the one in August. It's going to be, it could play out for the rest of this year, and this is in your sector of communication. What is really exciting is that you have the North Node there as well, and the North Node will be in Leo for the next 18 months, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And so just think about this. Think about if this is the direction that you had your heart set on going in, Gemini. These are the matters of your house. So it's not a stretch to assume that you would be interested in issues involving communication. But this may be just your time, the right time for you to start to launch such projects. And so I hope that you enjoyed this, Gemini. And if you'd like a private reading, I am offering a sale on my natal chart interpretations right now. You can find out about that reading and my other readings at RainaMoonAstrology.com. The link is below. And good luck to you in July, you guys. Bye.